Hey everyone, let's jump right into today's explainer. We're looking at a totally game-changing concept from Steve Chandler's brilliant book, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, Change Your Life Forever. Specifically, we're zeroing in on chapter 56. It's got this title that just instantly grabs you: Storm Your Own Brain. We're going to explore exactly how you can generate your own killer solutions to the absolute biggest hurdles in your life, entirely on your own.
But real quick, I want to ask you a question. Where do your best ideas actually hide? Think about it for a second. When you hit a wall, whether that's in your career or your personal life, do you instantly look outward? Do you find yourself relying maybe just a bit too much on outside help? Kind of waiting for a manager, a coach, or a friend to just swoop in and hand you the perfect fix? Well, today we are going to completely flip that dynamic on its head.
Section 1. The Magic of Brainstorming. Now, the term brainstorming gets thrown around everywhere in modern business, right? But Chandler's relationship with it goes way back to his early days working as a copywriter in an ad agency.
Whenever a new account landed, the agency president would pull the whole team into a room. And the rules in that room were incredibly simple. Number 1, no stupid ideas. Actually, the more unreasonable the idea, the better. And number 2, everyone must play. You'd go around and around the table just throwing ideas onto a flip pad. The whole goal is to literally exhaust all your standard, perfectly reasonable thoughts until the wild, totally outrageous stuff finally starts flowing. Because it's usually hidden right there, right in the middle of all those unreasonable ideas, that you stumble onto something pure genius. So why exactly does getting a bunch of people together to shout out crazy ideas work so incredibly well? It works because the usual restraints against stupidity are completely lifted. The magic of that room only happens when people feel totally 100% safe to be unreasonable and just far out. You take the filter off, you completely let go of that fear of sounding foolish.
Section 2. Storming Your Own Brain. Here is where things get really interesting. Because while listening to a motivational tape by Earl Nightingale, Chandler had this profound aha moment. You don't actually need a room full of people to brainstorm. It all comes down to how our brains are wired. Normally, when we try to solve a problem on our own, we lean super heavily on the logical left side of our brain. We get tense and we try to be perfectly reasonable. But individual brainstorming, that requires you to completely pivot to the right side of your brain. You have to actively allow yourself to be unreasonable, to physically relax, and to just invite your creative side to come out and play for a bit. Section 3. The Rule of 20. Okay, let's dive into the actual framework here. This is the exact step-by-step method that you can use at your desk right now, today, to tap into that relaxed, right brain playfulness. Here's how it works. Step 1, grab a piece of paper or open a blank doc, and at the very top, write down a problem you want solved or a goal you desperately want to reach. Step 2, simply write the numbers 1 through 20 down the margin. And step 3, go. Begin your brainstorming session. You have to list 20 ideas. And here's the kicker. They do not have to be well thought out. They honestly don't even have to be reasonable. You just have to give yourself permission to flow. Your single objective in this moment is speed. The goal is simply to get 20 ideas scrawled down in a really short amount of time. You're bypassing your inner critic by moving so fast that it doesn't even have time to tap you on the shoulder and say an idea is stupid. Just get to 20. Section 4, the exponential return. Let's shift gears and look at the incredible math behind turning this into a daily habit, because this is where the technique scales your creative output in a way that feels almost like a cheat code. In just one quick, frantic daily session, you are forcing your brain to produce 20 concepts. Just think about that for a sec. How often do you sit down and actively force yourself to come up with 20 distinct solutions to a single problem in one sitting? Most of us, we stop at 2 or 3 safe ones, and then we just kind of give up if they don't work. And here is the exponential leap. If you do this quick exercise every day for just a standard work week, suddenly you've generated 100 ideas. 100 entirely distinct angles, solutions, and creative workarounds for the exact problem you're trying to solve. But let's take a pause and be realistic for a second. Are all 100 ideas usable? I want you to honestly ask yourself, do you really expect every single thing you scribbled down in a frantic creative rush to be pure, unadulterated genius? The answer is of course not. But honestly, who cares? It simply doesn't matter if 80 or 90 of those ideas belong in the trash. Why? Because before you started this process, you probably had exactly 0 usable ideas.
You just traded a few minutes of your time for at least a handful of brilliant outside-the-box solutions that you absolutely never would have found if you hadn't lifted those restraints on your own creativity. Section 5, the show business case study. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. A friend of Chandler's in show business had immense talent, but his self-promotion and his marketing were just severely lagging behind. So Chandler decides to build a little suspense. He asks him, "What if I told you that there is someone who can give you 100 specific marketing ideas tailored to your precise career and audience?" And naturally, his friend was incredibly interested. I mean, who wouldn't want access to that kind of expert? But then, Chandler drops this massive, empowering truth bomb on him. You yourself are that person. He basically revealed that the friend already held the answers to his own career hurdles. Chandler walked him through the exact list of 20 self-storming technique we just discussed, and his friend just eagerly jotted down the rules and got right to work. And man, the results speak for themselves. Just 2 weeks later, the friend calls Chandler back, absolutely buzzing with excitement. He had generated more great marketing ideas than he'd ever had in the past. By simply playing the game, he tapped into this goldmine of tailored creativity he didn't even know he possessed. The technique works brilliantly in practice. Which brings us to our grand conclusion in Section 6. You are your best mentor. Let's synthesize exactly what this means for you and for whatever personal or professional hurdles you're facing right now. Now, it is absolutely true that outside coaching is highly beneficial. Getting a fresh set of eyes is great, but ultimately, the absolute best coaching out there does one specific thing. It teaches us to look within. Self-reliance is what yields the most customized, perfectly tailored results for your unique life. It really all boils down to Chandler's ultimate takeaway. Self-mentoring is the best mentoring you can get because your mentor knows you so well. No one knows your strengths, your audience, your capabilities, and your totally unique situation better than you do. You are, without a doubt, the ultimate expert on your own life. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative question. What problem are you going to put at the top of your blank page today? Seriously, grab a piece of paper right now, write your biggest hurdle right at the top, number it 1 through 20, and give yourself permission to flow. Storm your own brain and see what kind of brilliance you uncover. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.